everyone, this is Ellie. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Facet Technologies, and today I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough of Microsoft Copilot's Agent Builder. If you'd want a more in-depth walkthrough, I would recommend checking out our webinar that we just did that was all about Agent Builders. It's going to go way more in depth. This is really just the demo portion of it. This is the meat, but if you want the full course dinner, head on over to our AI Fluent Leaders series, and you can find the full recording there. You can share it with your team. You'll get really the full picture that way. Again, this is just the demo, so just know that going in. All right, so the screen you see here is my Copilot starting screen. This is the desktop app. It looks pretty much the same in the browser as well. So what you're going to first do is you're going to go ahead and go over to that new agent button that's going to be on the left-hand side in that sidebar. And it's super easy to start with Agent Builder. You're going to use natural language to tell it what you want the agent to do. An important part of that is not only telling it what to do, but also what not to do. So in this case, we're creating an agent for Riverside Outfitters, which is a fictional sporting goods store. So essentially, this agent is just going to be great for, new hires or people who are more junior employees who are constantly bugging their managers with little questions that just eat away at their time and make it hard to get, any work done, right? So we've all had those questions before and we're like, oh man, I don't want to ask my manager. This is an agent that's going to make it so that, you can find out the answer on your own. It's going to reference a library of just like essentially SOPs, standard operating procedures. It's going to be on a SharePoint. If you've not made a SharePoint site yet, I'm going to also show you real quick how to do that. It's super easy. So go ahead and put in your natural language prompt, and then the agent builder is going to think about it for a little bit, and it's going to generate, a first draft. You can change all this stuff. You can change the model over there on the right-hand side. You see the auto button. If you want to change that to thinking, you can. For most things, I found auto does fine. We're going to look at these instructions really closely. This is obviously what the agent is going to use, so make sure that it's accurate. And the one thing I'm going to tell you to double, triple check is going to be the guidelines. So here I'm adding in a guideline for, if a question isn't covered by the document, say so honestly and suggest that they talk to their manager. So gonna definitely want something like that in there if you're sending this out to staff. I mean, well, even if you're, using it for yourself, definitely just tell it. Like, if it's not covered in the documents I give you, just say so honestly. It does reduce the amount of hallucinations that your agent is going to have. Of course, nothing is 100%, but you can get a lot better accuracy by doing stuff like that. So we're adding in our guidelines. We're reading through the example interactions, make sure that those all look good. If it does, then go ahead and head down to knowledge. Knowledge is where you're going to add that SharePoint site. It's where you're going to add, your files, all that good stuff. If you've not made a SharePoint site yet, it's super easy. You're just going to, head over to SharePoint on Microsoft 365. In the left-hand side, there's going to be that plus button. You're going to click that, and then you're going to click Site. So this site that I made is just the most basic template that they have for our demo Riverside Outfitters. I dumped all the documents into a staff reference library. There's 11 of them there, and that's what we're going to use, as our reference. You can put up to 100 documents into a SharePoint for the agent builder to use. But in general, we go over this in the webinar, but always quality over quantity. Don't just dump a bunch of stuff in there, because having low quality information or inconsistent or conflicting information is just going to completely throw a wrench in your agent. So, just make sure that you've got those all sorted out. So you're going to go ahead and add that into your knowledge. And then the couple of options that they have here, you're going to have the option to search all websites. In general, you're not really going to use that if you're using it to reference company knowledge that you've got in a SharePoint or a Teams chat or anything like that. That's really, if you want it to search the web. You're going to definitely click, if you put that SharePoint in there, you're going to definitely click on only use specified sources. That's just going to limit where it can find its knowledge. Also, if you have an org chart in Microsoft 365, then that's a useful thing that you can flip on as well. It's going to be nice, new hires and stuff like that. If the agent can tell them specifically who to ask if it doesn't know the answer to a question, you can see how that would just be massively valuable to any company. From there, you're going to head down to capabilities. And that's just up to you whether you want it to be able to create those documents, create those images. In this case, we'll just leave it on. I don't really, you could see why somebody might want to create a cheat sheet for themselves or something like that. And then the suggested prompts. Suggested prompts are going to show up to your users when they open the agent. So just give them an idea of what they can do with the agent, like what questions they can ask, what knowledge it does have. I'm just adding a couple questions that I feel like a client might ask at a sporting goods store. And again, these are just examples. So with that, if everything looks good, then we're going to go up to the top and we're going to click on try it. So this is going to show you just what your agent will look like. And then go ahead and throw it a couple questions. I'm going to start with kind of a softball here. This is a question that's going to be clearly outlined in one of our procedure documents. So we're just asking what's the policy on a kayak bought 60 days ago, took out twice. So while Copilot's going to think about that, and then it'll search the documents that we gave it. Let's see what it says. Looks good. So it tells you the source. So then they can click into the Riverside's return policy document to read it for themselves. If they want to double check, ask it a follow-up question, make sure it does the same thing. Yeah, it looks good. Again, referencing that returns policy and the damage guarantee warranty documents. So now we're going to ask it something that we explicitly told it not to answer. So we're going to ask it how much this specific kayak costs. Let's see what it says. Perfect. Yep. It says check the point of sale system. That's exactly what we wanted it to do. It's going to direct them to a manager. Then you're going to go ahead and click create once you're sure that your agent is in a good spot. From there, you can go ahead and share it out. So you can make it available to anyone or specific users in your organization. And from there, you can also get a link to share it out in a Teams chat. So after that, your agent is ready to go, ready to share with your team. And again, that's kind of what we have for the demo. If you're wanting to go more in depth, again, check out that webinar that we did, creating your first agent. That's going to go a little bit more into the nuts and bolts of it. But until then, thanks for watching and happy agent building.